welcome to Mondays with Maria Gould. Thank you for joining me today. It is April the 13th, 2026, and today is episode 57. Our topic today will be getting your subconscious to help you create. So I'm going to explain a few understandings that I've come to around the subconscious and why our subconscious is appearing to sabotage us. So one of the first things I'd like to talk about is something that is wired into humanity is really fitting in. Now, no matter how much it can feel like you like being alone and having your privacy and all of these wonderful good things, deep down wired into us is we want to fit in somewhere, and we seek that from a very young child, seeking that approval of our parents to fit in to our family unit so they take care of us. As young children, we come in and are very vulnerable to this innate kind of idea that if we don't fit in with our family, they won't love us, they won't take care of us, these kinds of ideas. So this concept of fitting in is really fundamental to how we feel safe, okay? So many of our appearances of self-sabotage come around feeling unsafe to be different, right? So let's talk about this for a second, and I'm going to just use the concept of financial well-being. So financial wealth, let's use that. And you can put anything, like perhaps you want to change your body image or change your weight, right? Maybe you want to change your social status, whatever it is. When we look at how we were raised and what we saw in our environment, this really sets up our unconscious programming, our subconscious programming about what is acceptable, what is safe. And it's not like anyone tells you that these set of beliefs or concepts or paradigms are what keeps you safe. It's just built and wired into us that this is what my family believes. This is how my family thinks and feels. Therefore, I need to adopt this so that I'm safe. So if you were raised in a family that, maybe struggled with finances, I have a history of my mother grew up in the Great Depression. So there's a bit of that programming of knowing how to make money stretch and being able to buy things in bulk so that you save money in the long run, and different ideas and concepts like that is how I was raised. So searching into my subconscious to look at what programs are there around wealth and abundance, it actually brought up a lot of innate fears that I won't belong to my family if I move beyond that struggle, beyond that scarcity mentality. So sometimes our subconscious, again, is only trying to keep you safe. It's not doing it on purpose to sabotage you. It is wired into us for this concept of safety, that we are only safe with what we know. So when we start shifting these beliefs and concepts, these paradigms that we're raised in, and starting to literally have different thoughts and ideas and beliefs around what is possible, what we feel safe in, shifting our comfort zone from maybe only a very small paradigm to a larger paradigm. We start to shift as our beliefs shift. And now, rather than thinking you only need to make $3,000 a month, maybe it's $6,000 a month. And what does that look like? What does that feel like? Okay, so the subconscious, when we start to understand that everything in our environment that we were exposed to can really influence our unconscious or subconscious paradigms. And when we start to create change in our life, like new habits of creating more financial wealth, or new habits like being healthier than what your family was, maybe exercising or eating better, all of this resistance can come up. And maybe you're really good at some of these changes for a while, but then you fall back into old habits, into what's comfortable. And that is literally the subconscious just testing new territory. And you felt a little unsafe, like, oh my gosh, I'm starting to have more abundance. Oh, and sabotage, and something happens where all of that abundance gets used up with an emergency. And this is just your subconscious helping you, right? Until you really shift those beliefs around what is your outer limit of comfort, what feels safe now, what is this new family or tribe that you belong to. So who we surround ourselves with is really important as well. You will watch many people that have built successful businesses say that they really started to surround themselves with business mindset people that had successful $1 million businesses. And having that energy and that vibration, that mentality, and that set of beliefs around them help them reframe their own set of ideas. So anytime that we can change our environment, the people we hang out with, creating that community feeling, that family feeling of a bigger, broader, more expansive comfort zone, it's easier for you to start to create these changes. Okay? Now, it doesn't mean you have to cut everyone out of your life, your family that is still in this mindset, this paradigm, but you need to start surrounding yourself more and more with these people that have the frequency, that have the paradigm that you want to aspire to. And so your subconscious starts to believe you belong to this bigger community. And it's safe for you to be part of that community and fit into that community by copying and mimicking them. This is wired into our subconscious. We copy and mimic everything around us, whether we know it or not, either through our thoughts, through our energies, or our behaviors, right? So focusing on that bigger expansion and connecting yourself with that broader perspective in the community around you is very, very helpful to getting your subconscious to help you create the changes that you want. Now, also, another point I want to make is, remember, energy will flow where your focus goes. So I'll say that again. Energy flows where focus goes. This is a great quote that I heard from Alex Collier, and if you know who that is, I'll let you research that on your own. I thought that was a brilliant quote, and I will pay homage to this quote coming from him. But literally what that means is, if our thoughts are always focused on problems rather than solutions, your mind and your subconscious are geared to always be a problem solver. So if you're looking at the problems, your brain is always constantly trying to figure it out. But sometimes that part of your brain that becomes obsessive about the issue. Maybe a situation happened at work that kind of upset you and you felt kind of taken back or offended or hurt by something that happened or someone said something. Then all of a sudden your subconscious kicks in and it's trying to solve that uncomfortable feeling. It's trying to understand why this person did that. It's trying to make sense of it. What should you have done maybe next time? How could you have handled that differently? So this is the part of the mind that takes over to try and solve how you felt uncomfortable. Now, until you actually go in and heal the part that made you uncomfortable, not what the person did, but how it made you feel, because that's usually a deeper hurt from literally childhood got triggered, then the brain will become obsessive until that is handled. And this is, I think, a lot of anxiety in our society. This is a part of psychology that maybe got overlooked or not understood fully, that when this part of the mind feels insecure in any way, it literally needs to solve that feeling. It didn't like to feel that way. So it sets in motion this problem-solving part of your mind. Maybe it makes you hypervigilant. But rather than managing the part of the mind that is trying to make you feel safe, wouldn't it make sense to go back to the times where you felt insecure and witness healing on this in yourself through the Creator? This is really what we do in Theta Healing sessions, finding the root of why we felt unsafe, what triggered our body, our mind into that response. So once we heal that initial trigger, then any subsequent ones are no longer a trigger. Therefore, the mind that's trying to problem solve can actually be put to use on dreams and goals. So if you feel safe, now you will start to dream. You will start to move your subconscious forward and create. But so much of society has been put into fear, into insecurity, that we're no longer creating. So helping the subconscious feel safe, feel secure, then the nature of who we are is to create. And I think sometimes the controllers on the planet really actually want to keep us in fear because they understand this part of the mind. When people are in fear, they don't create. Right? So keep yourself in that state of mind where you feel secure and safe in the love, in the light of Creator. I've done many other podcasts and meditations taking you into that light that you are, that divine, eternal self that is your sanctuary, your safety. That part of you is indestructible. That part of you is your guidance. If you truly start to live that and understand that and trust your intuition, it will always guide you around any external threat. Always. Right? So when our subconscious feels safe, it dreams again. It starts to move forward again. So we want to create in our world, help your subconscious feel safe, and then that problem solver in the brain, when you start to write down your dreams, your brain's like, ooh, cool, a problem to solve. And it starts to get really creative, and it starts to, well, what about this idea? What about that idea? This would help you create that dream. Right? And this is where inspiration comes from, where our imagination opens up to move our creative life force energy forward, creating the reality we want to live in. Okay? So I hope that this talk today gave you a little deeper understanding of your subconscious. Our subconscious really wants to fit in, no matter where, even if it's in a small, just with your partner or just with your pet, right? These feelings of comfort and safety are because we have a sense of belonging. So when we start to expand that sense of belonging into a higher frequency of people that have already done what we want to do. Say you want to exercise regularly, eat well. Well, you want to start surrounding yourself with people that do that naturally do that. So it's not a struggle for them. They're not learning those skills. They have those skills. When you're around those people, you start to copy and mimic, and your body's vibration goes, oh, this is the tribe I fit into. Okay, excellent. So this is what I copy and mimic, making your progress and what changes you want to make in your life a lot easier. Now, when I do self-sabotage coaching, that's what we talk about. A lot of those concepts. I show you different videos on how this works and how we are always being programmed to literally live our worst life. So it is very important that you surround yourself with positive, with that higher paradigm that you want to aspire to, and surround yourself with those kinds of people, with those kinds of images, those kinds of inputs, okay? And then the second point, energy flows where focus goes. Focusing your mind rather than on the subconscious trying to solve why you felt insecure, why you felt safe. Reassure through Creator's light that you are safe, that everything is okay. And then that beautiful creative life force energy starts to move forward and you're safe to dream again. So those dreams now, that part of the mind that wants to solve problems, it's now going to be put in action, helping you to create what you want, right? And it all comes back to feeling safe, right? The first one, fitting into community, fitting into families, right? That's a feeling of safety. And the second one as well, that if that part of your mind was triggered and you felt insecure or unsafe on any level, the subconscious mind becomes obsessive until you feel safe. So you need to address that. You need to bring healing into that and reassure that inner child that they are safe. So that, again, that beautiful part of the mind that really can go into action like a locomotive to problem solve can be put to better use solving the problem of creating a better life. That's a good problem to have. What if it was a problem to know how to spend all of the money that you make, millions and millions and millions of dollars that you make, and how many people you could help? Have you ever heard Tony Robbins speak? This is how he speaks, right? How do I reach? He grew up in a family that was very, very poor. He had a single mother, very, very poor. They didn't have enough food sometimes. So it's a mission of his to actually feed a lot of people, especially around the holidays. So he created an organization that actually feeds millions and millions of people. Okay, so when we start to understand that this beautiful, amazing mind that we have, our subconscious, if we understand how it works, it literally can work for us rather than against us. And not that we're doing anything wrong by focusing on that issue of feeling unsafe. It's showing you, your mind is showing you it just needs to be addressed, so that creative life force energy can be put to better use. Okay? All right. Well, thank you for joining me today. If this podcast was helpful for you, then please share it with others. Invite them to sign up for my free newsletter on mariagould.com. And we will talk to you next week. Have a beautiful Monday.